Folks, we are incredibly excited to be officially dedicating the Phil Sims exhibit today. And I don't know if you all heard about this, but we got a special guest in town. Actually, the person that the exhibit is about, Mr. Phil Sims. Can everybody give him a round of applause, please? Before we move on, I would like to give a couple of comments and a couple of things. The exhibit could not have been possible without the city, the county, the tourism. But there's three individuals that I want to pay special appreciation to. That would be Mr. Bob Barber, Mr. Frank Peters, and Ms. Sandra Davis. Without their leadership and guidance, that exhibit would not be there today. So everybody give a round of applause. You know, it's really rare that a town of our size has somebody affiliated with it like Mr. Phil Sims. But we're not just proud of the fact that he's an award-winning NFL quarterback. We're also proud that alongside all of his accomplishments, he's taken the spirit of Springfield with him everywhere he goes, from his football career to his analyst career, and having that friendship, that kindness, that support, that loyalty that he showcases in everywhere he goes. And it's something that our young men and our young women can look up to as an ambassador and a perfect example of Springfield, Kentucky. So without any further ado, I would like to recognize a couple of the people that also have those attributes and that spirit of Springfield. First up, I'd like to introduce Mayor Wakefield.
I am, as well as all of us today, are happy to welcome you to the dedication event to open the Phil Sims exhibit in our historic Opera House. Many here know that NFL great Phil Sims was born here in Springfield and attended St. Dominic's School, which I'm an alma mater, and I'm very proud of that. And many know that his mother, Barbara Sims, had a great dream of exhibiting his memorabilia in a location that was his hometown. She contacted a member of our tourism commission, Mr. Bob Barber, and the ball was rolling. Her amazing collection came to Springfield in the back of Mr. Barber's car through our tourism commission's efforts, and his mother's exhibit became a reality for all of us to enjoy. Today, we think it is fitting for us to honor Phil Sims with this dedication, which was his mother's dream, and to present him with this canvas that displays the block of his birth town and a museum exhibit. And if you would, Mr. Barber, could you please come up? This has been a dream of Mr. Barber's as well as your mother's, to have this exhibit here in Springfield, Kentucky. So if you would, if you could please come up.
I love that.
Now, there you go. Keep it down. I think she put it on the glass on purpose.
Yeah, I'm just a little short. So that's a problem.
Got it? He's just tall.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you. Okay, I'll take it home. Thank you.
Next, I would like for Judge John Settles to come up and make a few comments.
Thank you, Mayor. It's my honor and pleasure to be here today to welcome Phil Sims to Springfield, Washington County. I followed your career from Moorhead to the New York Giants, and I thought you were going to have a perfect game when you got the MVP. Ended up 22 of 25 completions in that game. So we've enjoyed you as a football player and now as an analyst, and thank you for coming back to Washington County. Again, I will be brief, but welcome, and it's good to have you back. Thank you. I also have the honor of introducing the gentleman that was responsible for the exhibit. I've known John Downs now for several years because John was the developer that designed our Lincoln Museum, which is in the old courthouse. And again, I'll invite any of you that have not seen that museum to come over and visit. So we worked with John Downs extensively with tourism, with the city of Springfield, and with his help in gathering all the information There are many others that I don't want to go into. I'll forget someone, but Mr. John Downs was the designer of the Phil Sims exhibit as it is, and I'd like for Mr. Downs to say a few words.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody. Thank you all. Thank you, Mayor, and everyone. Both of my projects here, Phil Sims' project, I've got to thank a lot of people for their great work. It wasn't just me. Your mother was a wonderful help, and I was gratified to get to do it. I'm very glad to be back in Springfield. This is a beautiful town. My work here has been very nice, working with all of you all. Not my work, but working for you guys has been very gratifying to me. And when I first came to Springfield to talk about the Lincoln Museum, we had, I wasn't sure I was ready to do it yet. We had lunch and somebody said, I think it was Laurie, said, oh, you know, the pictures on the wall of all these historic people and places at Mordecai's, you know, Phil Sims, you know, he played football. And I'm like, yeah, I have some recollection. I'm a history guy. I'm not a sporty guy. I'm also not good at math, and so that's why I went into history. So dates I can remember, working with numbers not so good. And but I figured, you know, Phil Sims is a historical figure. Abraham Lincoln is a historical figure. I can do that. We got finished with that, and you're a great student. Yes, great student. And so we got finished with Lincoln. There was a little while. They called and asked if I wanted to come back. I hope you won't be disappointed that having Mordecai's across the street was a great reason as to why I wanted to come back and do the Sims exhibit. But when I started to read about you and research your life and your career, read some of your books, well, all of them, and I realized that you were not just a great athlete or a high-paid sports figure or TV personality, but a good man. Phil Sims is a good man, and a man worthy of the small honor that we are paying him here today, and worthy of the admiration that heroes, leaders, and role models deserve in this day where it seems like athletes and big personalities are always in some sort of scandal. Phil has had none of that going on with him. He early in his career showed a charitable streak and compassion and shared his time and talent for a variety of causes in Kentucky and in New Jersey. And then I finally read David Fishoff's book, Rock Your Business, What You and Your Company Can Learn from the Business of Rock and Roll. David Fishoff was Phil and other sports greats' agent for a number of years. He eventually wound that into a great Hollywood career now. But he wrote this book about how to run your business, how to be a successful businessman, and many of his examples that he uses as principles are stories about his relationship with Phil Sims. You want to know what kind of a man, not just an athlete, everybody can see those statistics. If you want to know what kind of a man Phil Sims is, you should read David Fishoff's book. And I gained the greatest appreciation from him as a result of that book. Also, Gary Revin, who produced a short film for CBS about Mr. Sims, when I told him what we were doing in Springfield, he was very glad to share his work with us for free. So you'll be able to see some of that down in some of his video down in the exhibit. When we opened the Lincoln Museum, we had a lot of students there, a lot of school kids there, and I told them, don't let where you come from be a hindrance at all to what you can become. There are two great Americans with very deep roots that come from Washington County, and I hope you all will aspire to add to that legacy. And I've looked forward to this moment to finally meet you and to say thank you and to say how proud I am and how we are all so proud of you and your career and for being a fellow Kentuckian. I would now like to introduce to you Man of the Hour, our great friend, I'm sure most of you know him, Mr. Phil Sims.
Thank you. Very honored that everybody showed up here today. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. That goes without saying. I hope you know that. I see a lot of friends here that I've seen over the last couple of years, so it's good to see you again. I needed to write some notes. A lot of things I want to count on being said. Let's see if I can remember them all. First, I definitely will hang, Mayor, think, you know, everybody up in New York makes fun of me the way I talk.
They need me to go.
They need you. Yes. It'd take about 50 years to get rid of that accent up in New York if you were there. My dad used to say I'd come home after many years and he'd go, boy, you're starting to talk like you're from the north. And even to this day, how many years have I been up here? 36 years in New York, over 36 years now. No matter where I go, they go, where are you from? Is it, do I still have that accent? Well, apparently I do. A couple things I want to correct. John, the 22 of 25 in the Super Bowl, of course, it was a great day. John, right? Yes. Yes. I want to make sure I didn't call you by the wrong name. Just to clarify a few things, and I let things just roll off my back and I let it go. There were 2 drops. And the other one was a definite pass interference. But besides that, it worked out okay. What else did I want to kind of talk about? So that was great. I sure do appreciate every one of you showing up here today. My brother and sister, my brother Dominic's here, my sister Jeannie's here. They grew up and really had a longer life and know more about Springfield, Kentucky than I do, but they're always telling, hell, I was driving down here today with my sister Jeannie, and it was a history lesson the whole way. There's Aunt Judy and Bob Lou, and it was great. And you know, of course, I've heard all those stories many, many years from my mom. You know, she was, you know, a special lady. One of the reasons why I wanted to come back here today, because so many of you here were great friends with her. She was a very sociable, talkative woman, I guess what you'd say. And she just loved Springfield. And I've said it many times that it had been up to her. She would have lived here her whole life and never left. And every time I came home to see her, I'd go to the house. You know, the schedule's always a little tight, 3 days, 4 days. Do you think we can go down to Springfield for a day? You know, we got to visit so-and-so, and she'd just go through the whole list. And every once in a while I would come with her, and it would be really a great day. We'd come down, visit some friends, relatives, and that's where I got to know Mordecai's, of course, eating there. The food was great, and the pies. Saconis, here we go. Everybody knew the pies. But go have a piece of pie at Saconis, I'd go, oh my gosh, it was so good. And even at my mom's funeral, we had the reception over here. We had Saucony pies brought in, and everybody talked about it when it was over. Hey, the pies, this. So it was a great day. Officer, it was good seeing you. I got a little nervous when you walked in. I thought, what the hell is my brother Dominic done that? You know, the Sims family has been in Springfield for many, many, many years. So we were asked today, they said, well, the Sims with the biggest mouth, he's the one that should talk. My brother Dominic said he wouldn't do it. So that's why I'm up here. I'm surprised he didn't yell out from the audience. You can't say that word begins with an F here, Dominic. As I told people all the time, I don't know why I just branch into things. I played in the NFL for 15 years. I played 8 of those years under Bill Parcells. I'm sure if you're even a casual football fan, you know him. He was as rough as you could meet anybody in life, in every way. Mental torture, physical torture, and I played for him for 8 years. And he didn't even know. When he said he was going to quit, I went home and checked my birth certificate to make sure my first name began with a P and not an F. Because for 8 years, I swear, you know, I'm not exaggerating. Effing sins. Hot dang effing sins. I threw for 450 yards. Well, boy, that was okay. Oh, man, thanks, Coach. So, you know, he wasn't a touchy-feely guy, but I got to say, I forgot your name. You were in the first grade with me.
Julie.
What is it?
Julie.
Julie showed me her picture. You were pretty in the first grade, too. You were in the first grade with the Sue? Nancy, how are you? You guys have aged well. It must be the good Southern living. That's what it is. What's that? The pie. Yeah, it does help. But it's really wonderful, and I'm so proud that this is down here And it was a good, I just appreciate everybody being here today, Mayor, everybody involved, seeing all of you, and being part of this. It really is special to me and to my family. And as I told my sister Jeannie, we lived out at Maple Hill Manor, is it? I said it right, okay, good. I'm gonna go out there and look at it later today. Every time I drive out there, when I come in town, I get lost and can't find it. Because the roads have changed a little over the years. I remember going up right to the corner and seeing my oldest brother Dominic play baseball on the field. I think the field is still there. It might be the same dang backstop. After all these years, you think they put a new backstop in? It's about 3 feet high. But I know my dad played high school football, everything, all those memories and everything they used to say about the town I remember. But talking about the exhibit, just seeing it, and John, thank you so much for all your hard work. And what it is now, why I brought my sister into this, I wish we could show a little more of our family history. But unfortunately, there's just not a lot of pictures to document that history. They're all of my brother Dominic, you know how it is. 8 kids, a lot of pictures of the first one and none of the rest. So, can you imagine what Dominic's going to say to me later on? I don't think he could say anything. His son-in-law Nick is here because he said it to us all last night we were out to dinner. For some reason, he went on a 20-minute tirade when dinner's over, and I thought, well, what the hell did we do? But it was all good. I sure appreciate everybody coming out here today and spending a few minutes there, here, in the town, and to be here. I'm very, very honored by it, and I look forward to coming down here in the years in the future, seeing everybody, and every once in a while showing up there, and we can have a little get-together, something to eat, whatever. So, but once again, Mayor, everybody, thank you so much for this day. Thank you.